Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Three Strangers podcast. I am your host, Ryan.
Bill.
And I'm Freaky Nikki.
Let's go! Let's go! Okay. That's good. You're definitely freaking. Have you been accused of such, Nick? Have you been accused of such?
No, thank God. Imagine I was in a theater and I was like, I've been called that before.
Yeah, like everybody's like looking. I was like, okay, man.
Okay.
Nice one. What's it? Obsession. Everybody's kind of obsessed about it.
Yeah. Bill,
As they should be.
yeah, we that's how we're introducing the film. We haven't even gotten to. So today we'll be talking about.
Yeah.
Seems like we're talking about what everyone's talking about right now, or maybe half of what everyone's talking about right now. The other half rhymes with rack dooms.
I thought you were going to say the rack rooms. I was like, where? Where is that showing?
Rack boom shoes.
I'll admit I have not seen rack booms. rack booms. Sorry, have you guys?
I actually have. Yeah.
Okay.
I saw it. I saw it with friends a couple weekends ago. One weekend after Obsession, which was honestly, I think, a really good way to do it. Seeing really good horror movies back to back weekends was like, oh my god, cinema's back. And then seeing the success of both of them was like, oh my god, I think horror movies are back.
Dude, it's so funny because I am realizing that we're now like really going full tilt into like the summer movie season. I do not give a fuck about Disclosure Day. I know that everyone's like, like, oh, like new Spielberg movie, like let's go and see it and everything. Like I'm like, I don't know, it's just not speaking. Steven Spielberg, this is a conversation for a different pod, but he has this weird thing with whimsical aliens. He does it like all the time.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know. Maybe they're not so whimsical. But what about you, Ryan? A lot of people talking about this one in your life?
Yeah, I mean, I saw it with a bunch of friends. Obsession. Backrooms, a lot of my students have been telling me to go see it. But interesting enough, they're all, though, saying after they say that Obsession was better. Every single one.
That is largely what I'm hearing. I don't have any,
Yeah.
I can't speak that, but,
I think is interesting is a lot. I feel like these past few years, right, when we look at the best horror movies that have been coming out every year, I feel like there's a general consensus recently, right? Obsession came out and people are like, wow, this is incredible. So far, this is the best horror movie of the year. All agreeing that Indy Navarrete should be winning awards for her performance. Right? We look at last year, pretty unanimously, people saying Sinners was the best horror movie that came out. Michael B. Jordan deserves praise for his performance. We even look back a year before that, The Substance. Pretty universally, said that is the best horror film. And it's so interesting because I feel like horror has always been a genre where there's, at least 5 to 10 different options of people being like, this is the best horror movie from this year. This is the best horror movie. But recently, it feels like there's become a consensus of, these films are incredible that are coming out. And for a lot of them, kind of newer directors, not, seasoned veterans.
I knew that something was happening. The happening alarm started going off when I get the terrible Apple News Insta headlines to my phone, and I was leaving work one day, and it was a headline about how both Obsession and The Backrooms beat the freaking Star Wars movie that nobody's seeing.
Yeah, Mandalorian and Grogu.
Yeah. And by a lot. It was not a contest. They beat them,
Yeah.
And that's pretty crazy because Star Wars used to be that guy, So
Yeah. I feel like there's a lot more traction nowadays, and I think that horror movies are being advertised so much better. Do you remember the hype that came out when Longlegs was starting to start its ad campaign before it came out with the little 30-second blurbs of just a little speaking, a really creepy photo, and how it got everyone oh my gosh, I need to see this. and now we have Obsession that was kind of a little bit word of mouth from like the award circuit, not award circuit, sorry, like the film circuit of before it comes out, like TIFF and all of those. It started becoming word of mouth, and then there was a few like early releases, and people like, you need to see this, you need to see this, and now look at how big this movie is on a less than $1 million budget, and as of right now being around 230 million at the box office.
Yeah.
Globally too.
Yeah. It's actually funny because all that success on that small a budget is now causing controversy on the other side. I don't know if you guys have been following this, but a lot of people that were on the back line of production were like, hey, like, I was paid a few $1,000s.
Yes.
And, you know, like, this,
the production crew.
I will never see that. Like, you know, and I, not to out myself too much, but I used to date somebody who was involved in like the technical side of film production. And she used to complain about this all the time. Like that, like she worked on Ixnay, very popular Apple TV series about Ixnay, separating your work and life.
Wow.
But
okay.
Anyway, and that she saw very little of the success of that production.
I saw that there's this kind of like, I don't want to say a movement, but there's this like notion of should they be paid kind of residual stuff with the success that it's had.
Well, even Indy Navarrete herself was paid, I believe, $20,000 for the movie, which is really not that much.
No,
in the grand scheme of things, you know. So,
I think that's a bigger issue in terms of like just studios and movies nowadays. That people just aren't getting paid what they should be getting paid.
I believe the term is above the line and below the line. Have you guys ever heard about this?
As far as like credit,
it's like it has something to do with like where the people that can make creative changes to a movie, like people like that you can imagine, like the writer, director, producers, like and that they are literally at the top of the budget sheet, and there's like a symbolic like if you aren't in that like bracket or whatever,
right?
You are not. You know what I'm saying?
You're not as valued. You're not as paid as much. You're not because it's like the less you have an influence, the less you get paid.
And another thing that I'm seeing a lot of discourse about is that people are like, oh my god, like this is so amazing, like a small budget horror movie blowing away expectations both critically and commercially. I hate to say it, this has been done before, guys. This has happened before. Not this movie, but this concept, right?
Yes.
And I actually saw and I feel bad. I can't remember what his example was for 2005, but his joke was that this happens every 10 years. And 10 years ago, the thesis is that It Follows. Made for very little money, but really appreciated it. Made a lot of money. I don't remember the 2005 example, but
was it Blair Witch? Wasn't Blair Witch?
That's the 90s. That's the 90s one. Yeah, that's the one before that. That was the first one, by the way. So
I mean, I don't want to like broaden it a little bit, but most of the time, horror always outperforms like expectations at the box office because they're made on such small budgets. If a movie's made on a $500,000 budget and then it makes $2 million, $3 million back, like they are very much so on the green.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's where most horror is, and that's why like horror movies are usually very much so produced because there is an audience that will go to see it. And there became a time where then people are like, oh, like, let's make these super big budget horror movies. They don't do well.
Yeah.
Think about the last time that there was a really successful horror movie made for even, like, you know, I mean, I guess there is successful things, but you're right. Like, it's like, you know, it's a risk to spend even like $50 million on a horror movie. You know what I'm saying? So, I gotta say though, I think a lot of these people on the production side of Obsession have a really good point, because this movie looks amazing for being made for under $1 million. This movie looks really good, really good.
Yeah,
it looks so. I mean, it looks like a well polished, big budget drama, horror drama.
Yeah, if you told me it was made for 20 million, I'd believe you. Yeah, it's that level, you know. So
yeah. Excellent effects. Like, I think we could start going more into spoiler range with this one. I mean, I think it's going to be pretty unanimous, and I really don't have to say it, but I'm still going to say it. We recommend this movie. You know, go support, go watch this movie. You know, do anything you can to support horror in general. Absolutely. But, like, you know, go see Backrooms, go see Obsession.
I saw this movie with quite a few friends that I think would self-label themselves as non-horror fans, and I did go with my girlfriend, my current girlfriend. I'll protect her privacy because she probably would not want to know everyone to know how much this movie affected her. And I think we'll kind of get into this as a natural discussion. I think this movie affects you on different levels based on the relatability of the characters and just like, you know, certain like circumstances of your life, you know.
And I want to take this moment to kind of redact what I had said previous. I don't even know if it wasn't recorded. I'm about to redact something that was not recorded, but we talked about a friend of Ryan's whose partner who had the same effect of, and I had not seen the movie, and this movie really does, like, what I love about this movie is it's so much more than a horror movie, because it is kind of this fantastical romance, and it's not a romance movie, but it's a fantastical, like, teen romance thing that happens that, I mean, let's be honest, this is an original concept. There have been TV shows, both cartoon and live action, that have done this before. And yet, making it a horror movie added an extra element of which it really blended reality, because there wasn't much of a point until, like we said, we're going to spoilers, until $1 billion literally drops from the ceiling. Before that, I'm just like, oh yeah, it's a real movie. Like, it's a realistic fiction movie.
Like, sorry, can you elaborate on that like a little bit? Like, you thought that, like,
I didn't think it.
Okay.
Like,
sorry.
Yeah, I didn't think like, oh yeah, this is a non-fiction. I didn't think that. What I mean is, like, it made circumstances believable for the audience members, and I think it was brilliant. I think the brilliant acting aided that, and I'm sure then, and Curry Baker's directing of just, like, keeping it real and keep making it like, yeah, no, these are like, these are probably, I don't know if it goes into detail, I forget if they're like just out of college or just out of high school.
I know that there's been a lot of discourse on this, and in the script they are perhaps puzzlingly mid-20s, like 24, 25. I believe that is the general range that we're working with here, which makes me feel a little old, to be honest. But and I'm sure that that's like extension of Curry Baker's, like, he's like that age, like he's like 27, you know. So
yeah, and another director, like, that starts in sketch comedy that then switches to horror.
Yeah, how can you not compare him to Kreger, right? Ryan
Kreger, Jordan Peele.
Yep. You know, I actually saw something, and I don't know if this is a critique or I understand what they're getting at, that horror is getting Kreger-fied, which I kind of understand the larger idea that people are getting at, that it's like, what if, like, horror was like this sort of conceptual thing, like it was just sort of just out of reach. Like it's happening in your neighborhood, but like you know what? Like you're not really seeing it, and that is true. I would say that Obsession kind of works in that way. You know? So,
but for people who are unaware of what Obsession is about, it is about this character named Bear, who is, I don't even want to say that he's in love. He has feelings for his friend Nikki, and basically he makes a wish that she will, you know, love him more than anyone else in the whole world. And from there, it just all goes downhill. Like the instant the wish happens, it's like your heart sinks a little bit. You know, like your stomach drops. Just literally from that first shot of him looking back at the house and just seeing her like standing there in the shadow as she's like changing into Wish Nikki.
It should be said, I think the circumstances of events that lead up to the wish and everything is so, like, just upon like reflection and everything, it makes so much sense in like a perverted sense of that like word, like, you know, like it's like literally like he's like agonizing over when to, you know, like talk with her, like when to like take that like next step and everything, and she straight up confronts him. Like she's like, you know, like hey, like are we going to, you know, is this going to be a thing or not? I know that there's a lot of I'm interested to hear what you guys think. Like, do you think that there was a chance for him sans wish, with no wish? Topic of a lot of debate. We don't know a lot, right?
Yeah. And I think it's intentional, a lot of it, you know, and there's talk about like doing different takes of Indy, who plays Nikki, of doing a take where it's very clear that she likes him, and then clear that she doesn't like him, and then mixing those two together, so you can never get like a true like grasp on does she, you know. I lean more towards no, that she does not.
Interesting. And this is based on just like the pure performance.
Yes, the performance.
Sorry, like, because I'll admit we're not giving.
Oh no, did we lose Ryan?
One. I am very sorry.
That's when we decided. Right. That's when we decided that what Ryan was saying was not important.
Yeah, we were just like, cut that. We don't care. I said something really bad, and we were like, you know what? Cut it.
Ryan, people have actually been asking for the podcast where it's like certain ones of us cut out. It's usually me, so it's.
Sorry, I lost connection from as I think I was trying to answer. Next question of do we think that Nikki and Bear like that Nikki likes Bear back? I said no. I feel like it's a no, and that's based on something that happens later on in the movie.
I think for me it's an immediate no. I think that I think thoughts that he didn't. He had no chance, because I think the personality type that would use a one wish will, the way that we saw his personality develop as this happened, the insecurity, even when they have an argument, and I forget the actual lines because I only saw it once a few weeks ago, but like where he replies, "Oh, so being with me would be that bad?"
Oh,
that right there was like,
so much later on, but
oh my god,
bro,
no,
he is such a chud. Like, there's no other way to describe him. Like, he is just such a big chud.
I'm gonna be the sole voice of other-sidedness then, just because for me, I largely view this movie as a tragedy. Ultimately, because as we're getting much later at the very end of the movie, like how all that plays out, I think it is more thematically interesting to think that there could have been a chance at this like so-called romance without the use of any supernatural force. I think that makes it way worse in like terms of like pain. You know what I'm saying?
I want to provide an alternative argument.
Okay.
That he had a better chance with Sarah.
Well, sorry, yes.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. And what I mean is like, I mean like it was a grounded in a more reality situation where they did work. And him and Maddie? Why am I... Nikki, thank you. Him and Nikki would not work. Came from
the secret sixth character.
Well, I think fundamentally like they don't work, Nikki and Bear, and this is like based off the conversation in the car, like right at the start where like Nikki literally says like he doesn't understand the type of love that she wants. And he's kind of like, "Oh, well, isn't it all the same?"
God damn. Sorry, that whole scene, and I know it's like super punctuated because it's leading up to the wish and everything. I honestly, like, truthfully, honestly think that between the writing, the performance, the way it's shot, and everything, it is so, like, they do such a good job of, like, a lot is not being said, even though quite a bit is being said. You know, like it's like you know, and I think what it ultimately boils down to is that Nikki is a lot more emotionally intelligent than Bear is.
Yeah, because Bear is such a chud. Like, there's.
Well, dude, I was ready for Bear to be like a tragic character because you can infer pretty early on that. Because he, like, does some lip service at the very beginning of the movie, that it's like, oh, Nikki was the only person that was nice to me when I moved here. He was living with his grandma. Maybe something bad happened to his parents, right? Then his grandma died, right? That's where the oxycodone came from that killed his cat. By the way, sorry, I don't have any. Oh, they're gone! But I literally, like you know, like the thing, like, you know, like, oh, don't kill the dog, like, you know, does the dog die? You know, in the movie, I was like, I literally had a situation, and this is gonna sound really bad. I had a situation where one of my cats got into a pill bottle. They can do that. Now, thank God, it was something that was not. Like, it didn't affect them. I immediately was like, you know, like immediate, like, animal, like, poison control, like, animal poison control, and they're like, no, it's fine. Like, it's just, like, I believe it was, like, an allergy pill, which is not a thing, but sorry, like, any kind of opiate like that, like, you know, like, they will, like, OD. It's pretty tragic. But by the way, that's, like, in, like, I believe, like, minute 5 or 6 of the movie. That's crazy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and it's before the title card even comes up.
That's right. Way to begin it. I feel like strong opening in that way.
Yeah.
You know.
And you know, it was interesting because, you know, Nick and I had a conversation, you know, about this, and it kind of became like a trio conversation of, like, you know, the beginning of a movie, like, for specifically horror, like, how really important is it? You know, and in some cases, like, yeah, like, it's, if we're thinking like 80s slashers and stuff like that, it's not important at all. You know, this movie, the beginning, is so important to tell the rest of the story. And, like, there is some masterful writing, like script writing, and, like, parallels that we'll see throughout the movie and stuff like that. Even with the cat, we have a parallel with the cat through a lot of this movie, but, like, more specifically...
I have seen the theory that Nikki is a symbol for the cat.
Well, sorry, are you saying a theory, like a symbol for the cat, or that the cat's spirit literally is? Because I've seen that. I think that's a little unhinged.
Yeah, I think it's a little unclear. I mean, it's a little like, I don't know. Yeah, so she sits in the corner and watches him sleep like a cat does. And she stays home and does nothing until you come home. Let's be honest. If it was a dog, that's what dogs do. But cats sometimes don't give a shit about you.
Like lounging.
They're like, get out of it. Give me my 8 hours of peace.
this is like something that we can talk about like over like the kind of like discussing like the plot and everything. I think that there is many ways that you can interpret what exactly the Willow did, right? Mm-hmm. Like we kind of see, and I'm actually gonna push back on. I don't know if we talked about like you saying that this is like a monkey's paw tale, right? This instance of what we're seeing here is a monkey's paw tale. The One Wish Willow is not a monkey's paw item. People seemingly... What's that?
What's a monkey's paw? Why don't you explain?
Oh, so sorry. I get to. Oh, Nick. Oh, freaky Nicky. I get to talk about the old thing. Sorry, I was in a production of the original play, where I am the old dude that gives a monkey's paw to a family. But it's a very old story. They got adapted into a semi-famous one-act play. Basically, that there's this cursed item that you can wish upon it, and every time, I believe there's a popular Simpsons episode based on it too, and that every time you make a wish, one of like the fingers curls back, and you get your wish, but at a terrible price, right? Mm-hmm. That's not the One Wish Willows. People seem to be making wishes, and there's the people in the shop, there's some very quick dialogue given that like, oh yeah, people have made wishes before on these and it's ruined their life, but like I believe it's the guy when he comes back to the shop a second time that seemingly made a wish and he's like, chill, he's like, I'm good.
He's like, my wish came true. It's like, okay, bro, good for you. Yeah.
I wonder what it was. Ian got $1 billion.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I heard that Curry Baker himself stated something to the fact that he is a little upset at himself, I guess, because he was like, I didn't really fully think about the logic of these items. Like I mean, literally imagine if these were real. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. The when it enters the universe, like if it exists in this universe, that means somebody else is out there. Right. That's just happening too.
And he like said something to the effect of like, I think sorry, in like an interview or something, it was something to the effect of like, I wish that I had kind of pre-written in some stuff, or like when he was searching online to make it that it's like they largely don't work. But it's like it has a very, very low chance of success.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think the marketing, there was an actual website. You can actually go on, the marketing was so great because you could go on the website and there was a One Wish for the website where you could like quote unquote buy it, but it was sold out. And then there was also a text line, which I don't know. I know we sent a picture to each other about the text line, but you could send a text, this text line, and it was Nikki, quote unquote, texting you every day, but every single day it would get more obsessive.
Yeah, and like you would get a contact on your phone, like of her.
That is crazy, and like it would be like, sorry, I didn't hear about this. Like it was like viral marketing for the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That is really kind of cool. I thought I read something to the effect that they had where you could call, like Bear does in the movie, you could call the
support company.
Yeah, you could call the support and like they'd be like shitty. You know what I'm saying? like that. Like,
I don't know. I don't know what number that was. I mean, I didn't try. I wish I did now.
I think you actually could call it. And it was sort of like, sorry, we don't. I think it was a pre-recorded thing, but that was Curry Baker on the line, by the way. He is.
Oh, was it really?
Tech support guy.
Oh, he's the voice. That's funny.
He was the voice of the tech support guy. Yeah.
Okay.
Or the Wish support guy.
I think we've done a lot of talking about like the movie itself, some themes, things like that. I think we should talk about the horror of it, in terms of like, it gets really like unsettling and scary.
Yes. Yeah. The pacing of Jump Scare is a pacing that honestly I wasn't ready for. I found myself in a theater looking away because I was scared. And it wasn't even shielding my eyes. I would just like glance down because I knew it was coming. And I realized at that moment that I felt the anxiety. Because first of all, one of the first jump scares is in the middle of a sex scene, which
Yes.
doesn't, which for doesn't like, it doesn't match up with the cliche of when the first jump scare is going to be. And so that right there, like as soon as that happens, my trust for scares is off the table.
So sorry, you're specifically talking about like the first time that
Well,
I
yeah, not the. I mean,
first kiss.
it's
The first
yes,
kiss.
right.
sex doesn't happen.
She real Nikki breaks through. For
Yes,
like a fraction of a
Nikki
second.
breaks through.
That is a really crazy acting job, by the way.
Yeah.
Because like it was suddenly like, you know, like it was like suddenly like a whole thing. And then sorry, I think that kind of lets the audience know if I if I could offer like maybe like one like the tiniest criticism to this, and it's like a trope of horror that you just have to accept. We have to accept this. We all like horror movies. We all accept this. Like the thing is that like unless you have a really crazy, I mean, I guess it speaks to Bear's personality a lot. It takes him. Like, sorry, if all those things were happening to him that first night that he broke the One Wish Willow, I'd be like, oh my god, this actually worked. You know what I'm saying? Like you know, and maybe it's like supposed to be like this like thing. It's like, well, come on, like think about it like in real life, like. You would not actually ever believe that there is like this like thing that you can buy for $6.99 that would literally grant a wish. And I think you understand what I'm saying. There might be for different people, depending on your tolerance for horror, like, you know, when does Bear realize that this is an actual wish that actually worked versus when is he deluding himself about that versus that is a subject of a lot of debate that I actually want to hear your guys' opinions on. But I guess to kind of tee up that conversation, what do you guys think the most important scene of the movie is? Because I have a weird answer for this, I think. And maybe not the scariest, but like the thesis statement on the movie. And I can go first if you guys need a little bit of thinking time.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
When I was like, oh, like this is what this movie is about, and I did not have this realization at the time, but I had it sort of in talking with friends quickly after the movie, that like we had this chain of events where like this initial night, the second night, this montage of that they're in a successful relationship with each other, right? But then that is immediately followed by the dinner date scene, right? Now, at the dinner date scene, that's when it's revealed to Bear that not only was there some conversation that Nikki and Sarah had before they started dating, basically seeming like Nikki was and kind of speaking to your guys' point, Nikki was aware of Bear's attraction for her and was actively sort of working to friend zone him, right? But also that she was lying about a plot point from earlier about her dad having cancer, right? Now, that scene in the dinner date I think is really important because Bear specifically says when he returns to the table, and there's the whole thing with the tiger's eye. By the way, completely unhinged to give that to somebody. Your mother, who presumably is not super in the picture anymore, giving her the most treasured object that she like ever gave to you, you know? He says, "Do you love me more than anyone else in the world?" The exact statement of the wish. And she says, "Yes, like of course I do." Right? And then, of course, the famous scene where he asks, like, does your dad actually have cancer? Right? I think in that moment, there is a weird thing between Bear and the entity or force or schism or whatever you want to call it in Nikki, where it's like Bear is like asking this direct question, and the entity, why it reacts so negatively, is like, hey, like, don't do that. Like, don't like try
Don't
to
challenge it.
don't break the reality. You know what this is, right? And it's almost like sort of like the entity is like saying that to the audience, but also saying that to Bear, but also just sort of making this like statement, because it ends with the statement, you know, like, we're having a nice date, you know, aren't we? And Bear says yes, and she says, then why does it matter? Like, the love isn't real, but why does it matter? That is the thesis statement of the movie, I think.
Damn.
And I think literally the scene leading, like literally the scene right after that also like compounds that, because that's the scene where they have sex, and
horrible.
It's very uncomfortable. Like, it's a very uncomfortable watch. And you know, like, it's like, oh, like, you're having sex in a movie, it's already a little uncomfortable. No, this is different. Like, you see just Nikki like limp, like laying there, just like looking away, like almost like towards the camera, like kind of just like not in it.
It is almost like a fourth wall break. Did you guys hear? So that was all her. Like, that was all her idea. Like, Indy's thing was, her perception there is, in that scene, it's the real Nikki, and she is crying. If you look closely, she's crying, and that's
is not hers at that moment.
Her body's not hers. I think it's I think it's this like really dark statement on objectification of women, of sexual assault, and just like the total removal of that body, and it really, like, in a dark symbolic way, it shows how gone the real Nikki, how out of control the real Nikki is of this.
And literally that combination, and if you guys think back to the movie, the dinner date into that sex scene, after that, shit starts getting really bad.
Yeah. Like, because isn't that when she's hiding in the corner?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Immediately following that whole sequence. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. And Bill, you said that you saw the movie twice. I'm not sure if you can clarify something with this scene. Does she say something along the lines of like, you hurt me, before she says, I don't like my dreams?
Okay, so this is, I want to touch upon this because I want to touch upon that whole sequence. Well, okay. To answer your question, to that part, I was super paying attention to this in the dark scene because I think it's one of the most frightening in the movie. Honestly, this whole like that whole like thing. I can tell you that's where a lot of the people that I went with was like I like can't like like behind the eye. I don't know if she says something exactly like that. I was super paying attention to the dialogue. It's something to the effect of go back to sleep, go back to the thing. But I know what you're talking about, where it's like she steps out and then she goes back into the darkness, and when she goes back into the darkness, that's the whole sequence of I don't like my dreams. And I feel like it's not mutual, this whole thing, which by the way is probably the entity itself being maybe this is maybe I'm not doing a good job at this or whatever, what I'm saying.
I take that about what's going on in the dreams, of because the real Nikki is unconscious in that state. Well, talking psychologically, your dreams are what happens with the unconscious. That's where the unconscious kind of turns on when you're in a dream state. And I am wondering what happens in those dreams. Is the real Nikki at war with the entity, and that's why the entity doesn't like the dreams, and
trying to take over.
Trying to take exactly, trying to take over.
Whoa, dude. Which probably when the entity is resting, that is probably why later in the movie she has that opportunity to slip through. Wow. Okay. Yeah. I do want to touch on something really crazy that I read. People are talking about this movie all the time. I'm sure you guys have been.
Oh yeah, I've seen theories and all of that everywhere.
Do you guys know about the original sex scene? Did you guys hear about this?
No.
It was Curry Baker made a very intentional decision to change what was supposed to be the original sex scene in the movie because it revealed too early that Bear was like a really, like a complete piece of shit, and essentially, there's obviously a whole screenplay for it and everything, but it boils down to the fact that it was a more traditional sex scene, but during it, I don't want to misremember the aspects of it.
Oh, I think I saw the script, the original script for this scene.
It's super fucked up. I want to say it's something to the effect of she was maybe filleting him, right? And then it became evident through a camera kind of trick thing. Obviously you can't show that much, but it became obvious that real Nikki snapped in and was confused what the hell is going on here, and it was literally Bear please switch back,
Wow.
being okay, when is wish controlled Nikki gonna come back? And it's super fucked up because that is literally rape. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so,
I have I have it.
Oh, you have it? Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I was misinterpreting this whole part, but it's literally he's yeah, but please. Yeah.
So it says Nikki slams Bear against the wall, kissing fiercely. They move to the bed where Bear playfully pushes her down. Clothes shed, Bear kisses her neck. Mid-moan, Nikki locks eyes with Bear, her expression shifting to sheer panic. With a frantic shove, she pushes him away and lets out a blood-curdling scream, her body trembling. Nikki. Bear, what the fuck? Bear remains unfazed, his eerie, calm demeanor chilling. Within moments, she's back kissing his stomach. The disturbance registers as nothing more than a fleeting inconvenience to him.
Sorry, I think it was a good change to not have that. Because, literally, I think everybody is against Bear at a certain point, but this would have been only 35, 40 minutes into the movie. Can you imagine?
Yeah. Yeah, there is this part where it's just Bear was just kind of desperate and he wanted his crush to like him. And then at that point it would be instead, because in the opposite end of it, you get oh, well, this is what Bear wanted. And oh, maybe something's wrong and it's scaring him. That's the version we got, versus oh, he's an asshole, and also he's an asshole again. But and yeah, you're right. That wouldn't have drawn you in. That is honestly, that is what I think a more mediocre horror movie would have done.
Yeah, and I think how I said before, how it's masterfully written, this script. We have moments where we're Bear, what are you doing, bro? And it's little tiny inklings until we have that scene of Nikki being Bear, kill me, and he says is it so bad to be with me? And you're you should. But earlier in the movie, when he's on the phone with customer service, he's not I want to cancel the wish. He goes, I want to adjust my wish.
That's a good point.
Pretty fucking bad, dude. That's some good thing. Okay, I didn't catch that on TV. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's right. And sorry, he knows that this worked. In reality,
that it worked. Right.
At this point, he knows that it worked. He knows that he is torturing her, basically. Even if he doesn't fully understand the extent of it. He knows that whatever this entity is is not Nikki, and yet he still says, I want to adjust the wish. And then he backtracks into, oh, you know what, let's just cancel it. You know?
Yeah.
So, Bear.
Sorry, it's really, this is weird. This is like a weird thing for, like, you know, there's like, I kind of think of like two really big times when it's like Nikki, like, well, I guess there's 3 times in the movie where it's like very clear that it's like quote unquote real Nikki like breaking through, right?
Yeah.
There's the makeout scene.
Yep.
There is the scene that we referred to at the end where she's you know, talking with him when he's leaving to go see Sarah.
Yeah.
And perhaps the most dramatic one at the party.
Yes.
In the middle.
I'm gonna add one more to you.
However, okay, which one are you adding?
So this is after the party scene, where like they're having the conversation, and she like does like the backwards walk, and like starts speaking to him, and then she does the like flinch towards him. I swear to God, I almost shit myself in that theater when she did that.
That was the scariest part of the movie for me personally. I didn't like the. I like still am struggling to understand exactly what that is. Like what that was.
I think that's Nikki, like, I am going to kill him. Like, I am going to attack him. Because Nikki never wants to hurt him.
Interesting. So okay, because the backwards walking stuff happens twice.
Yeah.
Right? It happens once in the shadows when she goes back into the shadows, like in the scene that we just described, and it happens much more clearly right there.
Yeah.
That effect is so freaky and it looks so scary. I kind of interpreted that as, I guess you're absolutely right, dude. Like real Nikki, like pulling her body back from the situation. You know, trying her, because sorry, it's literally her resetting. If you know what I'm talking about. Like, she was standing in that position before and, like, moved towards him. And that is, like, literally, like mechanically, like resetting her movements, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? I really did not like, it's kind of a throwaway thing with the cat lunch.
Oh
my God.
Just like dark humor.
Really
it's a dark humor part that's just kind of like, well, that's fucked up.
But if you remember, there was 2 photos included.
Yes.
And it's one is just a bear that says you, and then the next one is fucking a picture of Nikki, Wish Nikki, photo that was taken in bed with Bear while he's asleep, and then it's just not me. So not me. Like, you know, like that's not me. You know what I'm saying? So it's, Is
it assumed that the real Nikki is writing not me?
Yeah, that's what I interpreted. 100%. And trying to, cause it's kind of maybe up into a certain interpretive point that like Nikki is not aware that a wish was made. She's aware that something's controlling her, but she's like, oh my God, like Bear, help. And then it's sort of like, you know, like I think the truly like most chilling part of the movie is like, you know, like when Nikki herself realizes that it's like, no, Bear like wished for this. Like he wanted all this to happen. Like this isn't like you, like, you know, and so it's crazy. Where were you gonna go though, Ryan?
So I wanted to talk about like the cat stuff in that scene and like kind of throughout. So when we're in that car scene in the beginning, right? People were theorizing in terms of like the things how Bear was saying it in the car is why Wish Nikki behaves the way that she does. So because that's the most recent conversation. So for example, he says about the cat that the whole situation was fucked. Right? And people theorize like, oh, Wish Nikki, you're with the person you love, you know, fucked. Kind of means something else. You know, that could be a good thing for a couple. So there became the theory of like, oh, she thinks this is a good thing, and that's why she keeps on bringing it back, which is why she looks disappointed, and every time that he's like, Nikki, what are you doing? Like, this is messed up. And she's like, what do you mean? You know, and this is before, like, she's, I mean, from the start, she's off the rails. As soon as the wish happens. But, like, not, like, fully off the rails yet. She isn't there. But it's still, like, this, still creepy. Like, she's still doing, like, weird things as she's trying to figure out what Bear likes. You know, that's why we have that whole awkward interaction as Wish Nikki is trying to figure out how is the best way that I could end up being with Bear tonight. And that's why she goes through 3 different scenarios until she is able to finally land on, oh, my father has cancer.
So true. Because it was like, I will, you know, you should stay here with me. I will go back with, or it's like literally like, sorry, the first thing is like, you had something for me.
Yeah.
And of course, you know, like, really, running through all the iterations until it lands on the right one.
Yeah, so that's why people are bringing up this, like, that conversation in the car as, like, the things that Wish Nikki uses to, like, her extent of her knowledge to try to be with Bear.
I see, because from that moment, she's just at 0. She is at, like, 0%, a 0 conversation. It's almost like, I hate to bring this up, it's almost like when you're chatting with an AI bot, everything they know about you is only from what you tell them. So when you begin the conversation with an AI bot, they don't know anything about you and will only take in. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. And sometimes it could use previous things that you've written to it to then inform itself.
I wonder, like, this is kind of deep and kind of meta. I wonder why it would land on the dad cancer. But maybe it's because Bear's grandma had cancer? And maybe,
or someone in their family, because we don't know about her parents or things like that.
It knows enough to be able to know that will evoke a response from him, you know?
Yeah, there's this emotional tie. It's an emotional manipulation that works. And this kind of ties into what I took away from a lot of what I took away from the movie, the relationship part, was there's this, like, message on codependence of, like, codependence and trauma bonding.
Whoa.
Where the cancer thing is brought up as, like, a manipulatory tool to build the connection. And oftentimes that happens without it being intentional, right? And these relationships that are formed from trauma. And then what happens? The relationship becomes very codependent. And it is that they seemingly be obsessed with each other, right? You get these, like, I started thinking about, like, couples that were very PDA, very cringy in high school that ended awfully. And it's because they went through this whole thing where this is what they thought love was. It's like Bear's perception of love is so wrong. Is so wrong. And Nikki trying to learn that wrong perception of love is really hard to do. It's really hard to do because that perception of love that is so flawed and rooted in what codependent relationships are, where they just can't leave it. They can't live without each other, right? That's the negative codependency. And what brought that to significance is when we truly see, like, Nikki stay in the same place. He goes to work and she does not move, and she defecates on herself, and she pees on herself, and it is so, like, oh my god, this is so dependent, so just she is nothing without him, which again, like, object totally steals the meaning away of what love is and what healthy dependency is, and what this is not going to be a profound statement. Love isn't one-sided. Love isn't continually one person getting everything they want. And fun fact about that scene, it is the only scene, it is the only shot in which Bear is not there. Sorry, if it's like, it's the only scene in which it's not shot from Bear's perspective, it is shot from hers.
So, sorry, are you specifically talking about the scene where he leaves through the taped door?
Yes.
On her? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's a crazy statement piece.
Yeah.
You know, like you know, like the whole yeah. Like what does she even do? I actually thought that they were gonna go a different direction with it, where I thought that stalking was gonna be more of a thing.
Yeah.
In this movie.
Yeah.
And it really wasn't. It was like hardly ever comes up at all. You know.
Yeah.
Except when she does find out where he's sneaking off to.
Yeah.
But we're kind of getting ahead of ourselves. What'd you guys think of the party scene?
Ooh, I just want to piggyback off of Nick a little bit with the whole thing of love, codependence, all of that, because I don't want to take credit for this because I was reading about it, doing like research about it, but there's the whole thing of like, oh, does Bear love Nikki? But I don't think he loves Nikki. I think he loves the idea of what Nikki is. And how that becomes so twisted into him thinking that he is in love with Nikki, and that's why that car scene in the beginning where she's like, you just don't understand, you don't get it. And that kind of leads to the whole codependence. It leads to, him just, like, the relationship becoming so weird, although you have, like, that, ooh, we're a happy couple, we're cooking together, oh no, the pancake, like, flips, but then that's only, like, 2 minutes of the movie, not even. Like, that's probably, like, 30 seconds of the movie.
Yeah, it's the montage of, like, the good, yeah.
Great montage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's just trauma. And I love that you bring up the party scene, because this is where we hear Nikki's book. And she has the whole monologue about a little part of her book where basically she is talking about, like, a brother-sister relationship, Hansel and Gretel, that becomes incest.
That whole sequence made me almost feel, even though the force or whatever, entity that is controlling Nikki, even though it didn't have quite at this point a reason to be doing this, it almost felt taunting. Like, it was like, because, like, remember there's even, like, a line about, like, like, to wish on a willow or something like that, like, and I was like, whoa, like, like, and maybe that is, like, somehow some weird real Nikki, like, like, trying
to break through.
Yeah, in this, like, you have created a weirdly incestual kind of relationship. And I have seen a weird theory based around this very specifically, that, like, how some forms of Wiccan magic, and I guess magic that would be associated with, like, willows and, like, the natural world, is that, like, you break off a piece of yourself to be able to exact your will, or possess certain objects. This is very, honestly, like, very, like old English, like, kind of like, like, colonial times kind of ideas, but that it is implying that it's like the entity or whatever is controlling Nikki is like a broken off piece of Bear himself that's used to exert control over her, and that weirdly, because it came from him, anything that he does is weirdly incestuous, if that makes sense, with himself. Which is very deep and very weird and very creepy, but it does make sense in some weird ways. It
does. I think, I mean, is it, and this might belittle what you just say, and I'm sorry, is it as simple as they had a brother-sister relationship, a brother-sister friendship that got muddied, and muddying a brother-sister relationship in a dark way would be make it incest? especially when obsession, the concept of obsession is kind of overlaid with it.
We've been kind of, to answer your question, Nick, in like a weird roundabout way, we've been kind of beating around the bush. What's your guys' take? What is going on with Nikki? What is this? Is it a force? Is it an actual entity? Is it like evil? Is it like what is your guys' take on? Because this is what I'm seeing a lot. Is it like a split personality? Like what is going on here in your guys' approximation?
For me, I think it's an entity, and I
Okay.
think I've seen a lot of viewpoints about how the entity itself is a victim, as well as Nikki,
Whoa.
because the entity
Whoa.
itself didn't ask to be a part of this, but here this wish makes it like take over this person's body and feels like it has to love this man like no one, like more than anyone else in the world, but yet he's not happy with it, but he still does, like, leads it on still.
That's its sole purpose, right?
Yeah.
That's why it was created, right? If you think that this thing was created for the first time ever because of a result of Bear's wish, right? If that's where you're going at, like, if that's what you believe, I don't know, Nick. What do you think?
I definitely, I do agree with the entity. I don't know if personifying entity is quite interesting. I think that like gets into Lake Mungo, that conversation that Lake Mungo really brought up. I think it would have to go deeper. I think more would have to be seen. I mean, I think that I don't like my dreams does give validity to the entity having its own things, but at the end of the day, this entity is suffocating a real personality. I'm happy that they didn't make it a split personality. That they didn't try to do Split, like the movie Split.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's some it would be a lot of psychological lines to walk with that. One of them being like she would only come out in certain times. Like if they wanted a split personality, it'd be like, well, every time that that something sad is going on, that's when she would come out. But I think the fact that like when we see Nikki asleep and the real Nikki is able to talk because the entity is unconscious, I feel like that kind of confirms it for me that it's kind of I see it as a possession that has taken over, just as we see in some exorcism movies, right? Where this real person does come through and then it goes away. When we hear like I'm sure it's in multiple movies, but like the "Mommy Help Me," I don't know what's going on. Like I think like Poltergeist, I think comes to mind.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was what validates it. Like, okay, no, it's a possession for me as well. That's how I took it. Do you agree or disagree, Bob?
To this end, I'm gonna kind of fast forward us a little bit in the party scene to when real Nikki breaks through, and she very specifically says, in the limited time she has, where she's totally of her own volition. By the way, sorry, this is pretty telling. She does two things when she's free from the force or entity's control. She screams, "It's not me, it's not me," and she breaks a bottle and attempts to kill herself with it.
Yeah.
I don't. So, there's a lot of theories like where does real Nikki go when entity Nikki is in the driver's seat, so to speak. But if the phone call is any indication, she's in like hell. Like like eternal screaming.
Yeah, like eternal screaming, eternal like at the very least purgatory.
Maximum suffering.
Yeah.
She's suffering.
Yeah.
When she's not in the driver's seat. And literally two breaks. One is like, oh my god, thank god I have the chance to be able to kill myself. And then the other one is, of course, the one that we keep going back to, where she is like like, I cannot live like this anymore. I need you to kill me, Bear. Like, please kill me. Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, and I almost like... Oh, go on, Ryan.
I was gonna say, and like the dialogue of that scene, and like of him saying, like, as she's like, kill me, like all this stuff, and he's at this point had to deal with like all of like the crazy stuff, right? You know, this is after the party scene. This is after like the, you know, like the little flinch that she does, the bedroom like corner scene, like all of this stuff. And his response to her saying, like, kill me, I don't want to do this, is, what's so bad about being with me?
You're missing the point, dude.
Missing the point.
And her response of her saying, like, Bear, I've never been with you. It's so powerful. Like, you know...
Yeah.
It's, you know, how you talked about, Bill, like, you know, what is the thesis of this movie? And I feel like there's so many different moments that, like, are scattered throughout those, like, this is what this movie is trying to say. You know, you have that scene at the restaurant right towards, I don't want to say the beginning, that's, like, kind of end of first act, probably into second act, or beginning of second act, somewhere in there. But then you have this moment that's, like, beginning of third act. I really love this movie. I loved it.
I think what adds extra horror to this scene right before the real carnage of the movie begins is that, like, it is like, if there's any doubt in real Nikki's existence that Bear did not wish this situation into reality, him, like, being like, oh, I hear you, your existence is really painful right now, like, you know, like, this is a horrible thing that's happening to you, cool, like, you know, like, I gotta go. Like, cool. You know what I'm saying?
It's so frustrating. So, because you want to punch him so much, and at this point you want to just it's almost like, oh, bro, I feel like you should be suffering much more. You are so unsympathetic and unempathetic, and you are truly narcissistic. You are not caring about anybody else's feelings in the world. Only yours.
Even if you aren't thinking that in the beginning, when it's like you should be thinking that, even if you're not thinking that yet, that moment specifically, like, it is instantaneously like, wow, this fucking guy. Like,
it's like we're all saying the same thing, but it's like literally like, Bear, of sound mind and body, this experience is so horrible, I am begging you to kill me, and that's still not enough. Yeah, like, of sound mind, like, oh god, like, please don't, like, wake the other, you know, the entity up right now, please, before, like, she gets an opportunity to take control again. I am telling you right now, like, what I need from you is to kill me. Like,
and at the end, he'd rather kill himself than save her. Well, I mean, okay. The solution, I get, okay, the solution is killing himself to save her, but I honestly beg the question, where does he kill himself because he can't take it?
Well,
yes, and he's too much of a little P word to even do it, to see it through.
Yeah.
When we get to the end, there was some very, very powerful late in production decisions made. I think you guys probably know what I'm talking about.
The second ending, right?
I guess what was originally considered the original ending,
right? And
the actions of Bear in the bathroom and how all that plays out. But we got to get to the moneymaker scene with Sarah here. Did you guys like thoughts? I felt something really bad was coming. The framing of it, and I knew that Nikki was gonna appear. I didn't think it was gonna be so instantaneous.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's the waiting for her to appear. And that's where I think, where you said before, like, you thought there would be more stalking. When she's waiting by the door and you see her, like, you know, defecating on herself, all of that. In that next scene where he's in the store, I'm just waiting for her to appear. And there's a moment where, like, Sarah puts her head on Bear, and you're like, oh my god, Nikki's gonna see this, she's gonna freak out.
Yeah, that's what I thought, No.
she doesn't pop up. That's when the cat stuff happens, where you realize, oh, he ate a cat. Which also, bro, you didn't smell that. You didn't like instantly think like as soon as you ate that everything was okay, you know. But now the car, you're just waiting and waiting and waiting, and then out of nowhere, she just pops and she's mink, mink, mink.
Dude, I literally was
car
like,
horn too.
Begging them. Apparently, the death was so brutal, and this has been pretty widely circulated, but the death was so brutal that apparently they really had to fight. I believe they had to like censor the actual like they had to cut a few seconds out of the like slamming action.
Yeah.
To not get an NC-17, which is pretty crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. Just because of how quickly it happens and how brutal it is and how... Yeah. Yeah. It has something to do with the fact that it was like... It was like... I think it like literally like it was gonna like take her head off. Or something like that. Like it was literally gonna like pull her head. Or something like such that there was nothing recognizable as what like used to. I mean, there barely is anything recognizable as what used to be a face. And oh my god, the fucking shot where they go back to her and it's just like her fucking eye, horrible.
Yes,
horrible. That was so horrible. Like look at it, look at how fucking horrible this is. Like oh Jesus.
And it's truly
being like, sweetie, we gotta get rid of the body.
Oh my god,
yeah. That's when the ghost is vengeful, or the spirit, or whatever, the entity. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you wished for this. You did.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be so bored. I think I gotta be vulnerable about this moment. I used to really think about this idea of you ever get those couples where it's like I want to marry somebody who if I asked them, if somebody who would help me bury a body, hide a body, or if I said I killed somebody and they wouldn't call 911, they'd say where. Not gonna lie, I think I used to glamorize that perception of a relationship.
Ride or die.
And this is something I had to kind of come to terms with because I kind of talked a little bit about it with my my wife before we got married, and she was always of the mindset of like, no, absolutely not. What? Are you kidding me? I'm calling the police. I'm not helping you hide a body. And it really like it had to. I think the scene like really emphasized that for me. The fact that like that happens, and then she clicks right into hiding the body. For me, it was like, oh. No, yeah, no. Like it really kind of, and that's why it comes back to like I feel like those couples are so codependent of each other, right? So I don't know. I think that's why I kept going back to it. But what a scene! What a masterclass again of the pacing of horror, the pacing of jump scares and violence blew me away. I was holding tight the seat the whole time, and I just every time I felt like, oh, it's not gonna happen. Oh, maybe it will happen. No, it's not. It's not going to happen. Oh my gosh! Opening the letter. Oh my god. Oh, it's like it's so like it was such a masterclass of truly turn your perspective this way, and there it is. Like it really, it came out of nowhere, and it surprises me, but also like made me admire the movie much more. I think Curry Baker does a great job at it.
Yeah, and it's funny because that scene, I actually had 2 jump scares. I had that, what happened on the screen, and at that exact moment, Tina decided to also jump at that scare, but not jump like back in her seat, jump to me. So
jump to you?
Yeah, so she did. Right. She's staring at me right now from the other room. She did like the Freddy Fazbear, like. Like
wow. You gotta reach out. Hey, you gotta reach out. In that case, yeah. Like so the sequence of events here is of course like, like Nikki is like, oh, like go back home, I'm gonna dispose of the body. We know what she's actually doing with it. Eating it. Like using it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know.
almost sort of like, well, no, like literally, like, you know, like literally, like, in a last ditch, perverted, fucked up way, like, oh, I guess you liked Sarah, so I will try to be Sarah.
Yeah,
right?
I'm gonna
Yeah.
like get the clothes that she was wearing. I'm gonna like put the tattoos that she had on her body on myself.
Yeah.
And then you were attracted to her, so I'm gonna have her naked in the room for you to see when you come
Oh
in.
my God, I forgot about that image.
Yeah, horrible.
And
dude.
it's almost like a, I don't know, it's almost like a crucifixion almost, where she's kind of split. I know she's on a chair, and
Yeah.
she is gouged in just horrible place. It looks like there's even more violence. You know, it just like, it's quick too. That's like a jump scare, but there's no jump. It's a slow pan to it, like a slow fade, almost like Backroom style, honestly, where it's just, here's a horrific sight. All right, moving on.
I do have to say though, and this leans into, to kind of backtrack just a little bit, this leans into my only kind of criticism of maybe like Bear's logic in the movie. Like, he reads the letter that basically confirmed that Sarah was about to go to college, a dream of hers, and like literally was like, you know, like, okay, now I'm gonna go back and get the other One Wish Willows and use wish power to try to undo. Like, I'm like,
oh my God, that's a good point.
Bear is such a chud. He is a chud.
Like, he's a terrible person.
That shit makes no sense to me. That like you would, like, I understand, and like we quickly realized that it's like, no, like you only get one wish. You can't use a wish to undo a wish.
Yeah.
Which is very convenient for the purposes of what we're about to have happen. But I was kind of like, oh, so it really took somebody dying for you to get to this conclusion.
Not Nikki begging for her life, but your crush dying. Oh no, your friend.
Sarah
dying.
made it into
Pushing on her.
college. That's it. Redo the wish. You know, get rid of the wish. We need to cancel it.
And I will say the whole sequence at Ian's is really fun because like he straight up does not believe his ass.
Yeah.
Straight up is kind of like, hey, like you're like a freak, like you're like a freak, like you like, you know, like get out, kind of, you know, like this is not good. Whatever's going on here is not good with you.
This
Which
is
is very
also
real.
where we need to mention that Ian is a horrible friend throughout this movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we find out that Ian was actually, you know, doing things with Nikki the whole time. And that could kind of lead us to believe, like, oh, this is why, like, Ian at the start is like, hey, I don't know if you know this, but her dad doesn't have cancer. You know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But on top of that, the very start of the movie, Bear is, like, seen, like saying his feelings to someone, and we see that, oh, this isn't real, this is just like Ian had a waitress like pretend to be Nikki, and Bear is like saying all this stuff to her, and she ends up leaving, and Ian starts giving him horrible dating advice.
Well, I gotta push back just a little bit on that. Sorry, Ian's a bad guy, right? Ian's a bad guy. He's not a good guy. However, he kind of gives him kind of good advice about Nikki. By the way, fueled from the fact that he knows what Nikki's like because he was with Nikki. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because he was like, no, Bear, you can't do the sappy shit. Right? Like, you can't do the sappy stuff. And when he tries to do the sappy shit, when the whole, like, remember when you helped me back in blah, 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 like, class and everything at the very beginning and everything, she was like, no, like, you know, like, I remember that, like, wasn't a big deal. Who gives a fuck? So, that was kind of good advice. It was not good advice to call her Freaky Nikki, though.
Yes, I was going to say, but instead, his alternative is, oh, you should call her Freaky Nikki. That's why. So, like, yes and no.
I will say, it's left a little vague. Vague. But maybe he wanted, and like in a toxic way, wanted him to take a shot at Nikki so that she could like reject his ass. So then like Ian would be like, You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, he's about to hit
the
yeah, he's about to hit either the Mac or the Frank in like the Dennis system. Remember how they have their own systems after Dennis? Have you guys seen It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
No.
Yes.
Oh,
Sorry, my Nick. God, the Mac where he's move in after completion, like.
Yes, I will say everybody in this. I'd say the guys in this movie are not very good because I'm trying to fault Sarah. I don't really think she's pretty blameless, and Nikki, of course, herself is like a victim the entire time.
Yeah.
The guys in this movie are not painted in a very good light. Ian at his best is like, hey, this is a weird situation with Nikki. Maybe somebody should be checking on her that's not you, Bear, or something like, and he's right, but it's not motivated from the best of places.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
And that leads to the sequence of Bear going to the house and to Ian's house being like, Ian, I just need you to wish one thing. I need you to listen to me, brother. Like, you need to do this for me. I need your help. And Ian being like, things are a little crazy right now. You know what? How about I don't do that and instead I wish for a Millie?
A Billy.
A Billy, bro.
Sorry, a Billy.
I was like, that weirdly, like, I guess it's a little bit of like, I understand it's like a great sequence and everything. It's a little bit of a logic break because what's stopping anyone from doing that has a One Wish Willow? You know what I'm saying? Like, Like, I think it's pretty reasonable that, like, if other One Wish Willows existed in the world, people would, like, people would probably be wishing to be rich pretty often. That'd be probably top 5 wish.
Yeah, because usually it's one of the rules is you can't wish for more money, right?
Like in like.
Yeah, like wish.
In like genie studies.
Yeah, it was like lore.
Yeah, I say for genies.
Like genie lore. I feel like the only wish he cannot. The really, I thought like riches is pretty. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking.
Well, I think genie lore is also like you can't wish for someone to fall in love with you, but like this is literally.
True.
That's a Timmy Turner.
Yeah.
That's in the rules.
That's the rules, bro. If Jorgen von Strangle showed up in this movie.
Dude, I gotta say the One Wish Willows has some the rules. It has some the rules. It's actually in the extended freaking website and everything. There is specific caveats against, I want to say, time manipulation.
Oh yes, it has down the box.
Mortality. I want to say
mortality.
There might be one other one, but it like and I think that would make a lot of sense because any of those would be like really reality breaking, So
yeah. And of course, we kind of mentioned the ending a little bit in terms of, we see Sarah's dead body just on a chair, just everything out in the open. Nikki is having like the tattoos that Sarah has on her, and she says one of the most insane lines in the whole movie. And Bill, I'm gonna need you, because you've seen this movie twice.
Fuck. Okay,
I'm gonna need you to drop it.
Which line, buddy? Is it the one I'm thinking of?
Oh, it has to be the one you're thinking of.
Because to be clear, I literally was like, did she just say what I think she said? And the answer is yes. The answer is yes. It is something to the effect of, I will stick this barrel up my P word and like fire. It's something like that. It is something. Sorry, that's what you're saying, right?
Yes.
That's the one.
That's like, the outlandish is like, what?
Yeah, that is after I think she throws up on him. Right before she throws
It's
up
right
on him?
after she throws up on him, says that, and then shoots Ian.
Right, yeah, Ian gets murked really quick. That was a jump scare for me. He just walks in and immediately gets fucking blasted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing that I love about that scene is, like, she's doing all this crazy crap. She's, like, dropping bars saying that, right? and he's just at the door like, Bear, I got $1 billion. Bear.
It's actually really funny. He's like, dude,
I'm $1 billion.
It's fucking real. It's fucking real. You know?
It's real, man.
I'd be hyped.
Bro.
Thanks, dude. You like changed my life. You know? Like,
yeah, it's like, dude, I was there. I watched $1 billion fly from the sky. I saw the money.
It's felt like a bit of a shoot
Bear
to get him there. Yeah, because he like walks in and he's like, "Oh shit! Like, what's happening?" Like, you know, like it's pretty good. It's pretty good. But hey, everybody's reunited.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, in the same room, the house.
Yeah, and this is where good old Bear is like, you know what, Nikki, I do love you, but hold on, because I need a pee. So I'm gonna go to the bathroom. And she's like, all right. And she goes to the bathroom, locks it, goes for the pills, downs it.
Yeah.
This is after he tries to shoot himself, but he can't do it. He can't get himself to do it because, again, he's a soy boy. And
but the way they're shooting is so, like, it's so intimate in an intense way. Like, there's no glamorizing the him attempt with his gun, the gun in his mouth. It was crazy.
Yeah, to where he decides to do the pills, and he does it. He sits there a little bit, and then right as he's about to try to make himself throw up because he can't go through with it, you hear snap.
Sorry, I felt like such an edgelord during this scene because, like, I was like, "Oh, Bear, come on, like, dude, like, rookie move, like, you're gonna shoot yourself in the heart, like, dude, you should, like, don't ever try to do that, bro. Like, you gotta, like, shoot yourself, like, in the head, and, like, you want to, like, aim up." And I'm not gonna lie, he gets the mechanics. He's there. He's like really, like, you know, like, aiming up, like, in, like, the back and everything. And, like, I was like, oh, it's like fucked up that, like, you know, like, I'm like, you know, I'm fine, I'm good, but it is crazy that he's like slowly like, okay, what would be like the quickest, most lethal way? And then he just can't do it. Kind of fucked up. Small note. He has Nikki's tiger's eye. Nikki's mom's tiger's eye.
Yes.
To have the courage to kill himself, which is really kind of fucked up.
Insane.
It's
very dark. Yeah. Very fucked up.
And that one Wish Willow happens, and Nikki, we don't know the exact thing that she wished, but it probably is along the lines of, I wish Bear would love me more than anyone else in the world. And he goes out there, they do a little and then Big Bro dies. He goes out the same way as the cat.
You guys know the two big changes that were made here from the original script?
Yeah, I know one of them, right? One of them is that originally Nikki lives. Sorry, Nikki does not live. And she kills herself.
Yeah. It's true Romeo and Juliet shit.
Right, Romeo and Juliet inspired. And it was his, like, one of the guys in the production who was talking to the director about it, talking to Curry Baker about it, and he was like, no, they shot both, right? It sounds like they shot both, but upon, like, watching it, they were like, no, I think you gotta make it so she survives. It's harder to watch.
It's much harder. I mean, what is worse? Like, because I'm imagining, like, how I would frame that shot, like, if, like, she does kill herself. It's, like, literally, like, the wish breaks, but, like, it breaks just too late, and, like, she's already pulling the trigger back, or something like that. Like, it's, like, literally, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like, that's, like, ultimate tragedy. You know?
Yeah, because it wasn't originally like she snaps out of it, sees the carnage, and she's like, yeah, no, I'm good. And does it.
No, I think it's, like, literally supposed to be... Sorry, I'd have to, like, there was, like, variations of the script, but I think it is something to the effect of, like, she was... Like, she's like, oh my god, I can't live without Bear, I'm gonna kill myself. And then it's, like, the wish ends right as she's... like about to pull the trigger, you know, so it's like extra tragic or whatever, you know. The other big change was from Michael Johnston, who plays Bear, that he said he's like, I think Bear is way too much of a coward to go through with the whole suicide plot. And he was like, I think it would do a lot to have him be actively trying to throw up the pills as his last ever act before getting wish controlled.
Oh,
That's smart.
So that's
great character like work of you understanding your character.
He was trying to bail, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. He was trying to bail and figure out something else or something.
Yeah.
And it's too late because he gets wish controlled and becomes unoccupied with that. But the realities of the body are the realities of the body. So, you know.
Yeah. And that's obsession. You know, ends with Nikki screaming in horror as she sees, you know, what happens, has all the memories of everything that Bear did to her.
Yeah.
Very tragic ending.
Yeah, realistically, like, it's over for Nikki.
Right? Yeah, like, even Curry Barker said, like, she's done for. Like, the police are going to come and start to assume, like, she did all of it.
I saw a tweet or something related to the effect that apparently there's going to be a very quick thing in Curry Barker's next movie, basically confirming what you said, Ryan, to the effect of like Nikki, suspect Nikki Freeman, like, tried in triple homicide, which is kind of bullshit because Bear did. I mean, I'm sorry, the crime for killing one person is the crime for killing two people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Or three people. So
yeah.
It's life imprisonment or I don't know what state this is supposed to be in. I want to say California, I think was.
It was shot in California. Yeah.
Okay.
And it sounds like the original house that they filmed in burned down in the LA fires.
What?
In the drought, remember, like last year when it was a drought and there were fires through LA.
Bruh.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
like
maybe 2 years ago.
Bear's house? Like Bear's house?
Not Bear's house, the friend's house.
Ian's house.
Yeah, Ian's house.
Holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
You serious?
Yeah,
Ian's got a cool pad. I was jealous.
This guy is pretty cool.
Yeah. I'm like, that's a great party house. I would go to a party there, you know?
Yeah. All right, 1 sentence review of the movie. 1 sentence are, you know, for Bill, his Rotten Tomatoes that he likes to do.
I got it, actually. I think I kind of got this one. But I don't want to go first.
Okay.
I'm going to jump in with just a very unoriginal one because mine's just going to be Indy deserves every award for this perforance. That is my review.
That's it.
She deserves every award.
No, I'm just kidding. What you got, Nick?
I think Obsession shows that, first of all, the summer movie slate of 2026 is going to be great. But that's not the review. But I think, like, this movie just captures so much, and to be as great as it is and walk away thinking about what love is after a horror movie is such a surprise. It's such a delightful surprise. I'm really, really happy about it. This is a rambly sentence, but I don't know. Okay, here we go. My review is essentially, I am at a loss for words as I was walking out of that movie theater feeling so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I couldn't stop thinking about this movie. I was obsessed, perhaps. I think this movie also lends itself well to a lot of discussion about. I've read some stuff and heard some discourse among, like, friends and, like, online that, like, if your significant other has a really strong reaction one way or another to this film, that's, like, you know, you gotta be careful. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like, it's like Kristen and I did manage to take we did, like, you know, just check to make sure that we were, like, you know, above board with anything. I did not want her to be wish controlled. She did not want me to become a male manipulator. You know. But in my 1 sentence review, I'm actually going to take it all the way back to the beginning of the movie. Despite the main character's obsession with trivia, which is another love of mine. This is a powerful story about when wishes go too far. Yeah, that's kind of weak, but you understand. A tagline for this movie that I actually think is pretty good, it's a little cheesy, is careful who you wish for.
Ooh.
Who you wish for. That's good. That's good.
Yeah. That's good.
Cool.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for watching this episode. Sorry from my end that I'm lagging a bit for those who are watching, and that if I was cutting out and things like that. Thank you, of course, for Bill and Nick for being here, holding down the fort as they always do. And with all of that being said, always remember, you better follow the rules.
The rules. Okay.
Bye, everyone.
Oh, sorry, I thought Ryan froze on that. Bye, everyone. Okay.